This is the show that has hosted everyone from Sugar Ray Leonard to Keith One Time Thurman. This is Tough Talk Tonight, brought to you by Heavy Bag Boxing.
Up another episode of Tough Talk Tuesday. As always, I'm your host, Lucas Biggers. Alongside me, I got Rob, I got Sakura. How's it going?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. Lot going on this weekend with the fight. I got a lot of crow to eat. A lot of that to come. But first, let's talk about the undercard, guys. How was it? What fight surprised you guys? What would you like?
First of all of y'all asses got crow to eat. All of y'all.
Oh,
Oh, is this why we're on here tonight? Just so we could hear you about your
And
correct
and the damn fans.
prediction?
And the damn fans. But
see,
What CJ said, this CJ was on your
I
side.
was gonna say it seemed like a lot of people were on
I
your
know
side.
CJ, come on tonight, baby. With me and you. It's me and you. No, but the undercards, listen, the two big takeaways I have here on the undercard is, and I'll start with Lester Martinez and Mbili.
And Billy,
They put
yes.
they put on a show. Okay,
That's a good ass fight.
that was a mini war, and it was fought in the trenches. Um, it really was fought in the trenches. So they really did put on a show. There was a hell of a mini war there for it. I'm not sure if it will be able to take home fight of the year. Um, because like I said, it was to me a mini war. But Lester Martinez got some respect from me. I did not expect that from that young man.
A lot of people think he won that fight.
He was tough, man. He was really tough, Lucas. Yeah.
I
I,
mean,
I
I'm
honestly,
one of
for
those
once, was
people
like,
that thought that he kind of won it, or at least had it was more like a draw. That's what I was leaning towards in that fight. But either way, we were entertained, and boxing fans really got a treat with that particular fight. I also liked Brandon Adams, his fight. That one was also action packed, full of surprises.
I missed the Brandon Adams fight, but and Billy
Mm.
Lester Martinez, man, that was a good fight. And usually you hate to see draws, but that one seemed like it kind of deserved a draw. That kind of a brutal fight you hate to see nobody get the nod, but at the same point you felt like draw was a draw.
I mean, I felt like it was really because it was hard. It was very, very hard to judge. Let me just say that it was very hard to pick out who, like they say sometimes when it's a close fight, then they just go by, well, who would you rather have been in that round? It was
Hmm.
really hard to pick that out. They were banging.
Yeah, for sure. They was putting it on. They gave us a show. Um, I was kind of disappointed in the performance that Fernandez Jr. gave us. But the I can't pronounce the guy's name that he fought, but um
Welsh. He fought Welsh.
Welsh, yes, okay. So Welsh was, a former well, he's an Olympian. There are no former Olympians. They're Olympian. So he's an Olympian. He had to, you could tell he was a little bit more slicker in there, that he had some, boxing tricks. And so it was, he was over his head on that one. I mean, I think they moved him a little too fast with that matchup. But on the other hand, you got to believe in yourself. And if you don't, who else will? So I don't fault him for wanting to be on that card either, because it was a opportunity to be seen by a lot of fans. But you got to look good. You know what I'm saying? In order for it to really pay off the way you want to. But I definitely um I had to tip my hat off to Walsh, because to me he really, did a better job than what I expected. I thought it was going to be more competitive than what it really was. And that was due to his skill level.
Yeah,
But another great fight.
yeah, no, Wall showed up. Not what I was
Yeah,
expecting.
so on that one, I have this to say. You know, Fernando Vargas Sr. was one of my favorite fighters in the Floyd
Mhm.
Mayweather era. And Lucas, for some reason, thinks that Floyd is God to me, but really, he's not though. My favorite fighter, if you remember Lucas of that era, was Miguel Cotto. Okay, so it wasn't all Floyd Mayweather. Fernando Vargas was another one of my all-time favorites. The kid fought everybody, and he didn't back
Over
away.
Oscar?
Yes, the kid fought everybody, and he didn't back down, and he didn't shy away. You know how I feel about Oscar.
You, you,
That
you know,
being
you
that
were quiet about Cotto, but you were loud about Floyd. So
Right.
that being that being said, though, I'm very disappointed in his son in this performance because it should have been his coming out party. He got the early knockdown. Sometimes that early knockdown actually hurts you or hinders you in a fight like this, especially against a guy who's prepared for that. Because to me, it kind of takes away um, your humility. You know, takes away from your humbleness, and sometimes you get a little too cocky and you think you're gonna win the fight just on the strength of one knockdown. So that to me played a part in it. But the major thing to me that I'm upset with here is you got to listen to your corner, man. You got to. You got a legend fighter in your corner that's your father, and you didn't listen to him at all. You was so disrespectful. The way that he didn't listen to the corner, and that's why he lost the fight.
Okay. I mean, I don't know about all that, but I mean, I just know that, sons have a hard time listening to their fathers sometimes, and maybe he's not his go-to guy. Like, everybody got a favorite person that they just kind of, you know, what do you call it, mesh with, like that they get along with, that they respect more. So maybe maybe he shouldn't be his go person. Like maybe he should think about having someone else in his corner if he's not gonna listen to his dad. It's sad that that happens, but a lot of times, you got to change up trainers, because he wasn't ready for that challenge. Like I said, I don't blame him for wanting to take that chance and that risk, um, because it's a Canelo card and it's a Canelo Bud card, and it's the first time that boxing was at the Allegiant Stadium. Like, there was just so many things that would have been positive had he been able to, have a better showing.
very true. I want to echo also what both you were saying about the trainer is as a dad who's coached both of his kids. One listens and does what I ask, and then the other one is just like, no, fuck that, and he just does what he wants to do. And I'm like, why am I even out here? If you go and do whatever you want to do, you just go and do whatever you want to do. Why even have me out here? You ain't gonna learn nothing, And we've learned that it's better if he gets coached by somebody else. You know what I mean? Like I can coach
Mhm.
one of them, the other one, it's a struggle. It's a struggle every time. Maybe it's just personalities clash. I don't know, but I like to think Wyatt's my little rebel, and he don't trust dad as much as maybe my older son does.
Yeah, that's definitely a rebel of the family for sure.
But
Yeah, and
that's
then I
bad.
mean sometimes you got to grow into that, right? Your kids are younger, you know what I'm saying? Junior here is a younger fighter, yes. Maybe he does need to grow up a little, and well, he does obviously need to grow up a little in the ring. He needs to. You got all that experience working with him, and his father was telling him the right things. That's what kills me when you're in the corner and they're telling you the right things. Are you just? I'm wondering, are they tuned out in this fight? Are they just not there? Is something what is going wrong with that fighter's mental that he's not checked into the corner?
Well, I mean, you can get frustrated, and you see something in front of you that you're like, man, I'm right there. I got this. I'm right there. So you don't want to hear what anybody else is saying because you already got a game plan in your head. You already see some things that you need to correct. You already are. You feel like you're on that doorstep. You can you just got to get one more punch in, and it's going to open up for you. So you kind of turn a blind eye to other game plans because you're like, I got this. But little do you know, you don't got this. You don't got this. You need that outsider perspective, especially in boxing, but I think in all sports. I think it's easy to get in your head. It's easy to think, man, I'm good. I got this. I'll work it out. And all you do is end up digging yourself deeper and deeper and deeper. Then you can't get out. Then it's too far, too late. So listen to the team and trust those people around you. We're here to help. Not trying to hurt nobody, especially your immediate family. So
Yeah, I agree with that. And his dad is legendary, and you know, as Rob said, I wasn't listening to the corners that much, but if he says he was giving them the right instructions, and he just wasn't able to execute it, it could have also been that his opponent wasn't allowing him to do those things too.
yeah.
And he could have tried to, but was unable to unlock, you know, that key to being able to execute it. So there's two ways to look at that.
Very true. Sometimes some of that that advice is easier said than done.
Yeah, knock him out. Go out there and knock him out.
You
This
make
the
it sound
last
so
round.
easy.
You got to knock him out to get a win. It's like, why are you telling them that in the last round? Like, you could have
Yeah.
told them that at least in the 10th. Give them 3 rounds. You know what I'm saying? Now you want them to produce this knockout in a final round. And this man knows that you're coming after him, so he's not going to be available for you to just knock out a lot of times.
I
Like
I
this
I
motherfucker
wish,
punches back, right? Shit, I can't just do
yeah,
whatever
I
I
mean,
want.
I wish the corner would be honest when they do that, at least in the last round. I wish they would be honest and just say, "Hey, kill or be killed." No, try and knock them out or get knocked out, because that's really what you have to do. And
Yeah, but I'm
these
saying why
fighters
wait
these
till
days,
then to tell
they're
them?
not willing to do it.
And but the trainers and everybody
They
knows
ain't
by the
wrong.
10th round whether somebody's in trouble or not, or whether it's close or not. Why wait till the 12th to start pressuring them and putting this need in their head when it could have been done earlier? So you're maximizing the time in which you can accomplish that. It's
I
like,
mean, both of those things work. I agree with you on that. Both of those things work. If I'm a trainer in this era, I'm training my fighter how to go for the knockout and
mm,
accept defeat. Like, to me, that's the lesson we're missing in this era is there's honor in defeat. Go out on your shield if we know that you're losing and you only have a knockout in the final round. I'm trying to instill that in my fighters, like, hey, we train for this to get the knockout in the last round. Because somebody should have told Canelo's ass that.
You gotta put up a risk. I think there's too many people in boxing now that don't want to win. I mean, if I'm being point blank and honest, they don't want to win or they don't want to do what it takes to win. We are missing the one-on-one Marquezes. We're missing the Catsitas. the Arturo Gottis. These guys don't want to put this shit on the line. They don't want to take no risk. They say, I'll just glide to the end. I don't get beat up. I don't look stupid. But what they don't understand is those guys are still getting checks. Gabe Rosado, he shows up. He may get the shit kicked out of him, but he makes it entertaining, which means I'll still watch you. I don't care if you got beat. I'll still watch you fight another dude. Why not? It's good, entertaining fun. But people miss that. I mean, we don't have that no more. I'm trying to think of somebody that's newer off the top of my head, and the only guy I can come up with is Isak Cruz. And I don't even really think that's necessarily him and his thought process. That's just his style. It's just straight come forward all the time aggression. And we don't see that a lot anymore.
I think Blair Cobbs is also someone like that, where, he's very entertaining. He might lose, but, he's not getting the respect that he probably deserves for taking tougher fights that he took when he was with Golden Boy, especially. And then when he won against Broner, everybody was like, well, it was kind of like a washed up Broner, and like, they didn't give him any creds for that either. So, there again, he hasn't fought since. He hasn't been able to get the fight that he wants. So, it's a lot of boxers that are considered B-side fighters, but if they make it entertaining, people want to call them back. I mean, they want to, but nowadays, because we got this, got to have a something, an O, that O is like making fans feel like, well, I don't want to support him. He lost one time. You ready to wash off this guy, and he only lost one time. Yeah. That actually is Keith Thurman as well. Like, really, he's only lost one time, coincidentally.
He's only fought one time.
Pacquiao lost.
He's only fought one time in the last 10 years.
But that's a good example. I mean, these guys know. When you're behind. When you're behind on the scorecard, you're like, damn, I'm going to lose. And some people just coast to that loss. You know what I mean? But why not? If you got to lose that O, at least have that one mean something. Like, damn, that one, he lost, but that motherfucker went down swinging like that. That 11th and 12th round was crazy. He gave him hell. You don't see none of that, though.
They will get a call back.
Yeah,
they will get a call back for sure.
That's what matters. I mean, nobody wants to see you coast to a loss. We'd rather see you, at least take a risk, try something. But I digress. Guys, let's get back to the meat and potatoes, if you will. And yes, of course, with the meat, I'm talking about Canelo. The potatoes is definitely Bud. And I'm going to say something that might make you guys laugh. But, man, from the entrance, I was like, God damn, Canelo going to lose. Canelo going to lose. Look, he's stepping out on that lava bricks, and they were appearing as he was coming out. I'm like, ah, shit. I got to say, though, Bud was on point. And this is the best I've seen Bud. Like I said last week, I'm not changing any of that. I still don't put him on the top. We'll get to that, the top of all time. I don't think this did that for me. I think if he maybe beat everybody Canelo did to get those belts, maybe I would be there. But his reaction time, and he would get him to throw so that he could counter the counter, right? So he would give a throwaway punch just so that he could counter off of it. He did amazing. Trust me, I just sat watching that whole time and shaking my head like I look so fucking stupid right now. God damn, I look dumb. That's the way I did. I get that I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people out there. But the size is definitely not an issue. And it didn't look like water weight. Now, I'm not speculating anything there. I'm just saying it didn't look like water weight. I don't know if he did it correctly, if he just had that time to bring it up naturally, or if he just...
They said he was training for a year.
So there you go.
He didn't take a fight for almost a full year.
He,
Yeah, but they said he was training for that year to put on that weight and be able to, because you
right.
notice on the 12th round, he still wasn't like out of breath or look. I mean, he looked like he could go the old 15 rounds,
Mm,
like he looked like he
right.
could have put in three more rounds if he had to. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, totally looked fresh. So you could tell that there was a lot of work that he put into his stamina and the ability to put on the muscle without putting on too much water weight.
Without
Um,
losing too much. Yeah.
yeah, like you could tell that was there was a plan in place for it. I really, still even after I saw the performance and loved it, Rob, I've always been a Bud fan. I still was surprised when he got the decision because when it got to 12 and then I was like, oh God, here comes the judges. Like and then I kind of figured it was close up till the 11th and 12th round. But then that's when Bud like really like showed out. Like it was like total dominance by the time he got to the 11th and 12th round, which I know really helped him on the scorecards.
Mm.
But I was one that was still, I said a draw. And part of it was political, the reason why I was thinking that. And guess what? I would have been right had it not been for the 11th and 12th round. So,
I mean, really, just one of them. Shit.
yeah,
That's
Well,
how bad it
like,
is. That's how bad it
well,
was. I mean, that's bad. Canelo always be fucking people on these scorecards. I mean, Golovkin should have won the first one. We know that. Lara probably should have won. And now we can be like, he got a draw against Floyd, and now they tried to fuck Bud. They tried to fuck Bud bad
well,
because let's face it. Okay, look, Bivol handled Canelo and almost shut him out. Bud did almost or exactly the same as bad to Canelo, except he made Canelo look a little bit more stupid. Just better with the movement overall. So for
well,
me,
he had some
that
frustrating moments in the fight. But I will say this, and
maybe too.
I'm not a Canelo lover per se in the past, but I think he did what he could do. Like I feel like he wasn't awful. Like he was trying to make something happen. But every time he would like maybe figure out one tool, here comes Bud with another tool and just switches it up on him on what he's trying to do. And Canelo at he just looked really frustrated. But then the first four rounds, I felt like, damn, those rounds were rounds where since they were filling each other out or whatever, they could have went either way. So now you're talking about the fifth to the 10th, where is it going back and forth? Was there a round where Bud did like kind of rest, and let that round go, like so there's some room to play with it. Plus, we have to remember judges are not fans. Judges are given an exact strategy and technique to judge each round. And I could see what was going on. But once that 11th round hit and Bud was looking totally dominant and out punching him in the punch stat category with, multiple effective punches, then I knew like I was like, oh boy, yeah, like Bud should get this. But I don't know, cause I was like, I don't know, cause Canelo got his way with those judges. They love scoring for him with those power punches he lands and moving forward a lot with people. So I'm just glad that Bud was able to like be so super dominant in those last two rounds, so it couldn't be, where the judges got it wrong, because they definitely ended up getting it right. Um, I just wish we lived in a world where I didn't have to say my predictions based on what I think is going to happen with the boxing politics. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I was super happy for Bud, and then I also I took my hat off to Canelo because he never like truly gave up in the fight. He was frustrated for sure, but he was trying to make something happen and he was swinging. Even though he knew something was going to come back as a counter, like he was still like, okay, I got to try to, knock this dude out.
Mm.
But I don't know if either one of y'all noticed though. I thought there was a round where Bud really actually hurt Canelo, and I don't know if y'all saw that. Where if Bud really wanted to, I believe he could have got him out. But he kind of slacked off after he like had his legs a little weak. I don't know, Rob. Did you see that? I forget
Um,
which round it was, but he
ninth.
was
I
shook a
think
little bit.
ninth. I think it was the ninth. He hit him with some hellacious shots in the ninth.
Hmm.
Bud did, and it was that one where Canelo turned and was like, like he just was like, I almost shut the bed there. Is what that look was, and that's the one meme that's going around everywhere. But look, are
Oh
y'all done?
yeah.
Cause I got a lot to say.
Like
Well, you know what? You can have all the stuff. I mean, I know you want to gloat and everything, like, but in actuality, it's not a big thing that you predicted, Bud, because you've always rode with Bud through like thick and thin through all these weight divisions. So it's not like you did anything extraordinary. It's not like you bet the farm on,
Oh
a
no, no,
Canelo or
that's
something.
not the problem. And Shakura, you out this one, okay? Because you've always been a Bud fan, and you didn't have nothing negative to say, okay? But it's Lucas and the haters that I want to talk to right now,
Oh
okay?
boy.
First off, I got a
you
few questions for y'all, but let me go ahead and say something real quick.
you want to
I
read your dad's
see
comment first?
I see Mr. Alexander says, I was pleased it was not a boring fight. Excellent tactical fight by Crawford. Canelo has nothing to be ashamed of. Um, they both gave us what we wanted to see. They both brought their A game in this fight.
100 pops. I
They
agree.
they did. And with that being said, I'm talking about haters like this. Speaking of haters and pops, Raleigh had posted before the fight, and I quote, anybody that thinks Crawford can beat Canelo is an idiot. Steven Alexander commented after the fight, Will Raleigh, now we know who really is the idiot. Okay? All of y'all haters out there that tried to talk
Wait a
about
minute. You're not going to beat up on Rolly now. You're going to leave Rolly alone because I understood what he was saying. Because literally, it's like most people are not going to be able to jump up two and a half weight
and that's what I
classes
want to talk about.
and beat
Can we
somebody. Let
please
me
stop
finish. Let me
talking
finish. I'm gonna
about the
take up
weight?
for him. Most boxers, and this is what I want to make sure people understand. Don't think because Bud pulled it off and made it happen that you can do the same. Okay, because you'll get your head knocked
You
off.
can't. You can do the same if you
No,
put in the
everybody
work.
cannot do the
If you
same.
put
Don't even
in
tell people
the
that.
work.
No,
If
do
you
It,
put
not
in the
tell
work.
other boxers that
Listen,
they can do that when
it
we
was a
know they
listen,
style
can.
turn.
Okay.
It
listen.
was a
We had
style
just
turn.
We
saw
talk
Charlo try
about
to do it. We had just saw Jamel Charlo try to do it, and it
they're
was an
not on
epic
the
fail.
same level.
It
They're
was an
not on the
epic
same
fail, though.
playing field.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, you're not Bud, so do not try to recreate that same situation. You are not going to be able to just jump up two and a half weight classes, okay? And I'm saying two and a half because he only had the one fight at 154. So you're not going to be able to do that and pull it off against somebody like Canelo, like
You
Bud did. I mean,
you
that's
can
like a
if you put
superhuman
in the work though.
athlete right
That's
there.
what
That's
y'all
that's
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 what
like
y'all
that.
that's what y'all are
No,
missing.
Bud is like a superhuman athlete.
No,
He can
no,
do
Bud
that.
put in the work.
But
Bud put in the
nobody else
work.
is gonna be able to do that. They're not gonna do that.
That's all he did is put in the work. Listen, we all agree there's too many fucking weight classes. There's too
Where?
many of them. And they're
Where?
all just to get money and belts. That's it. That's what they're all built off of. Is to
Look,
get money and belts.
look,
Believe
I'm a,
me, Turkey and Dana is working on that, right? They're gonna be working on a new system. Trust me. Boxing will
Oh
be totally
no,
different.
I don't need that
I,
new system. I don't need them
Boxing,
bringing up the
boxing will
Ali
be
Act.
totally different in the next few years. Trust me.
I,
Okay, all
I
right.
think,
So
I think Crawford had the right style, but more than anything, he studied. He studied Canelo. He knew where Canelo was going to be before Canelo did. He had that game planned out. Excellent fight
But
by him.
it
But
wasn't a
but
hard
screw like
game.
everybody do that. If your style matches, you might be able to pull that off. But you need good movement. I mean, really good movement.
And it
It,
wouldn't
it,
hurt. Like if you're a southpaw, then you automatically have an advantage with Canelo.
Right.
Like you know, that's his Achilles heel from day one, you know. But at the same time, like I'm saying, if you're not a superhuman athlete, when Bud got in there at the weigh-in, I mean, we just literally saw like they were like the same size. And Bud had a longer reach by like, you know, one inch.
one,
But he had the height advantage as well. He filled out well in that weight. Everybody's not gonna be able to do that. Sorry, it's something about
if they
you're
put in
either
their work,
born with
they
that
can.
or you're not born with that. I
If they
stand
put
my
in the
side.
work,
I
they
stand
can. If they have the
100%
talent,
behind
they
that.
can.
You're either born with that type of talent or you're not.
Putting in work doesn't give you those attribute skills. Yes, of course, you gotta perfect this
We can't
skill.
hear you. You're mumbling like
Make a little
muffled.
muffled.
What about now?
A little
It's
better.
a little better.
Uh, let me see.
Turn it up a little bit. Just turn the volume
You're
up
better,
now.
Hobby.
Yeah, I'm trying to, but I think I'm gonna have to speak to the speaker louder.
That's better. That's better.
Yeah. Well, I was saying I don't know what Robert is saying, talking about like he just put in work, he just put in work. I think it's beyond that. You know, I think he's a like you say he's a super athlete with supernatural abilities, and he put everything together, and he put on a boxing clinic right there. He spelled boxing from B to the G in every way possible, and he showed us what boxing is. Now, the way he did it, I he I mean honestly, I don't think no right now anybody can mess with him right now. You know what I'm saying? And Lucas, I know you used to say his resume is weak. His resume, he hasn't really fought nobody. And I agree with you until then. But you know what? Somebody
Yeah,
like somebody like him needs a better fighter so that he can up his game up even more, so that he can rise to the occasion. If you put him against an elite fighter, he's gonna rise to the top because that's what he's done his whole life. You know, the few times he had some solid competition, he he made it look like damn they were never part of the same league. You know what I'm saying? Look what he did with Gamboa. Look what he did with Pusto. I mean, they're not like the most famous, high-profile fighters, but we are boxing hardcore fans. We know what they made of and how he was expected to perform and what he did, and then what he did to Spence. Wow, that shit was just crazy. And now Canelo, like that's that's what boxing is all about. And he went against the cash cow, the kingpin. He did not want any easy cuts, no rehydration clothes, unlike other fighters out there. You know what I'm saying? All these so-called knockout artists, so-called badasses, yet crying over some rehydration clothes or all this and that. Not but baby. Now the whole point about divisions, yeah, divisions matter and weight classes matter. Every pound, either
there's
up
too
or
damn
down,
many of them.
makes a
Too
difference.
many of them.
Nope. Yeah, maybe too many of them, but they do make a difference. Every pound that makes a difference. Now, if 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 anybody could do it, and if it's so easy to do it, why they ain't doing it?
Because they're not putting in the work, Javi. And you go back to Charlo. Charlo didn't put in the work. He just
Like,
wanted
no,
the payday. He
no,
wanted the money.
I don't think.
Listen, not everybody can go up because look at him. I mean, he's already had the height. We already talked about that. He already filled it out. So obviously, he's been shrinking himself down. He already had the super middleweight build for the most part. So
You got
he's been shrinking himself down. He's
Charlo?
been doing that. Yeah, Crawford. He's taller. He's got a bigger range. I mean, he's got there. Maybe he ain't as big as all super middleweights, but he at least fills that position. Robbie won people from it like Italy to go up to
Yeah.
welterweight.
Speaking of that, we'll talk about that later. I got
Can't
something
not
to say about that.
not everybody can jump those weight classes. We've seen it this time with Crawford because he filled it outright. But not everybody has that. Lomachenko hit a wall. Lomachenko hit that wall, and he can't go past that. And if he did, he's just setting himself up to lose. Crawford can't go up to light heavy, right? Everybody has their wall.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying about you're either born with that type of super human, athletic abilities or not. Like some of it's just genetics, basically, is what I'm saying. And then of course you add in the fact that he's a superior boxer, like, the sweet science type of boxing. So that makes him a lethal threat to other boxers. But the average person, the average boxer, they gotta work with what they're given, they gotta work with what the natural talent is, and then they gotta add that knowledge to it to make their range work. Like a Lomachenko, he still stretched, his body's physical limits by going to lightweight and fighting those bigger cats there. I mean, so he still stretched it, but at the same time, the average person, the average boxer is not gonna be able to do that. So that's why I'm like, I don't want these boxers thinking, oh, I can do it now too. Like, no, you can't.
So
Stay
let
where
me
you
ask y'all a
at.
question, and
I
this is
don't want to see
more.
nobody get laid out or nobody seriously hurt because they're
Let me
trying to
ask
do
y'all a
too
question,
much.
and let me ask y'all a question, because this is what I'm hearing. This is what I'm hearing. Before the damn fight, all of y'all said Canelo's too big. Crawford can't move up it 2 weight classes to beat him. That's what y'all said.
Yeah, right. Like,
And
how you
now,
didn't say
hold on.
that? I said I was
And now,
concerned about it.
I did.
and now, y'all are telling me that because he beat him, he's superhuman now. All of a sudden,
Hey,
he's
No.
just a
listen.
super
Because
talented,
the average person,
superhuman
the
being
average boxer
just
can't do
because he
that.
beat him.
Nah,
Robert, let me remind you,
Am I
Robert.
getting this right?
Yeah, you getting it. You're not getting it right because I did not say that. Also, let me remind you that you switched back and forth, Canelo, Crawford, and then went back to Crawford, and then I knew since day one it was Crawford, and I said it. I did not switch back. I didn't have a change of heart. You know what I'm saying? And then just to pretty much what Sakura was saying before you asked your question, when Sakura said, "Oh, now they're gonna say that anybody can do it," and blah blah blah. Goes back to what I said, Sakura. If anybody can do what he did, why they ain't doing it? And a great fighter like Lomachenko himself, I don't know if maybe being that he stayed at the bigger class makes them up. Because at
Yeah.
the same time, I think about it too. What if Crawford stays at 168 and fight the top guys at 168, which there's not many? Will we see some type of like, oh, maybe he cannot do this, who cannot? Now we all knew since day one, Canelo can be outboxed.
he
Canelo
can
can be out, you know, it's we've
outmaneuver.
seen it before. Lara outboxed his head off. He
Right.
didn't get the decision.
Southpaw.
No
Yeah.
Triple
fault.
G first fight was a bit closer than a lot, but he still edged him. He didn't get that decision. I think Crawford's biggest win is not the belt, it's not the big ass ring that he had, it's not all the undisputed, but it's having a decision, a unanimous decision against Canelo in Vegas. Because think about it,
Right.
when Canelo lost against Mayweather, he had a judge that had him winning. Now,
Tied.
now this is where the
That's
sour
what
part
Lucas
becomes.
said.
Now, the thing about it is like Crawford man is he's such a phenomenon that he was some way somehow behind in 2 scorecards from the judges, but because he needed the last 2 rounds, the championship rounds, he made a statement and got those rounds because God knows if there would have been close rounds, God knows we will be here. I know I would be mad. Lucas would have been losing his shit, and then this,
Yeah.
we'll be talking a whole different shit.
Well, I would have been happy because I would have been like, I told y'all it was gonna be a draw.
Look,
And yeah, he did say that. I'm reading what Hub City put. He's more than likely to go down to 160 to take another weight class. That would make him a 6 division champ. Yeah, I believe that's where they're going. He said it. His
Yeah.
coaches said it. So they're gonna go to 160. And I'm looking at who's the 160 right now, except for Charlo. Um,
No,
I
he's
think
not. He's not even at 160 now. He went to 168 in his last fight. Well, Jamal, the older boxer, the
right,
older of the two twins, he
right.
went to 168 in his last fight. Arislandi Lara is the only like established champion now at 160 with the WBC championship.
Yeah,
And
he's going for that
everybody
belt.
else, what was his name? Akanab Navlev or it's something like that. He moved up to 168. So that's an easy division to grab all the belts and be undisputed. As long as he don't have no problems with Lara. And that would be
I think
like
he could
seeing
stop
a
Lara.
mirror image almost.
Lara's not like he used to be anymore. You know,
Bro,
time has
right. He
settled in.
can't
So
move around like he used to. And we just saw that Bud can still move around. So that would not be to his advantage. But like I said, that division is wide open for belts to be taken. And so he could make another undisputed
yeah,
situation happen fairly quickly
I'm
at
sure he's gonna do it.
160.
I'm sure. I think that's because think about it. You're already. You know when Messi won the World Cup and then he won like the Europe thing and then he won for Argentina. He
Yeah,
basically completed soccer. That's what
right.
Crawford just did. He just completed boxing. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like
But I
everything there
would
to do,
like
he did it.
to, Javi, I would like for him to like defend the titles like once.
It
Like
matters more to me. Like I don't want to bash the
I
guy.
would like to
Obviously,
see it.
he just won. He just made this amazing thing that I was picking against him. Right, I fully admit that. But what I'm saying here is one win, one big win against somebody who's maybe game planable. Somebody who has some lateral movement, who we've seen. He already had a blueprint laid out that people could have followed. I doubt that Bud was going to make that blueprint and be able to follow it. But still, I would like to see him against tougher competition with at least a different type of style. I'm not saying he has to stay at 168, but only big fights here. I don't want to see him just jumping around to try to grab accolades because that really, to me, does not prove anything. You're handpicking fights with styles that maybe you think or your team thinks that you can go out and grab. That's what Canelo's been
Well,
doing.
I mean,
That's
let's
what
talk about
Floyd
that
does.
because, like, who would you
Right.
consider to be a big name at
Yeah, thank you.
168?
Thank you.
Yeah, there's a
Because
lot
we
of
got
big names still at
who we
160.
got?
I
Caleb
mean,
Plant. We
take
got
off Caleb. I mean, that's enough for
um.
me. Defend him
Let's
against
see.
Caleb.
That's
That's a
that's
completely different
Jamal
style
Charlo
from
is there
Canelo.
Caleb
now.
just lost his last fight. He ain't worthy
Um.
of that fight.
this
Who
does
I'm just
Caleb does
naming. I'm
Caleb
just naming
yeah.
some top. I'm just naming top talent at 168. I'm not saying who lost or whatever. I'm just saying like what would constitute a big fight for you guys
At
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 where he's
168.
at where he's at the level he's at. Okay, in this weight class here or around this weight class, the biggest fight is obvious, and that's for Benavidez to come down to 168.
Oh,
That's the biggest fight. And I'm telling you right now, because I'm riding my high horse, because I told you on this last fight, Benavidez can beat him.
be who?
Bud. Benavidez can
Yeah,
beat
because the
Bud.
way
He's too big, man.
Listen,
He can come down to, if he come, I said if he comes down at 168,
But
that's
he ain't
the
gonna be
biggest
nowhere
name.
near 168 the
the,
night of the fight.
the fight to make for me, Bud Baval. I gotta see that.
But that's another 175 pounder.
Not
yeah.
necessarily. Baval has said he can make 168.
Well, yeah,
Baval
he
had
did say he'll
offered
come down. He
Canelo.
wanted to come down and get Canelo at
Yeah,
168, and that was a no-go.
right. But Bud might take that fight. And look, they both made Canelo look like shit. They both basically gave him what? They maybe 2 rounds. So they both won 10 out of the 12.
I'll
It's
take
a good ass
B-Ball.
fight.
Bivol
Okay,
didn't
but
make
I
a
just think
unanimous
that's gonna be
decision
a
though.
boring fight.
Bivol
Say
didn't
what?
make
I'll
a
take.
unanimous decision, and Bivol that was I wouldn't say it
Ball
was
got
close.
fucked. I mean, come on, we know it was not close.
it wasn't close, but like on the judges, it was. This shit was so clear. It was such a masterclass that even the robbers that were ready to rob said, "Nah, I can't do this right now."
It was
That,
them
that
last two rounds
that's
that
how
put them apart, like set them apart.
that's how bad it is. Now, what I
They
would like
already
for
robbed.
Bud, what I would like for Bud to do would be like maybe, yeah, Caleb Plant sounds like an interesting matchup, but Caleb right now doesn't have a lot of leverage since he lost his last two fights, I believe, and there's no belt in his waist right now. So I don't think Bud is gonna entertain anything that is not worthy at this point because you just beat the face of boxing. You just, like I said, you just beat the last enemy of the game. What is there to do? Like, I mean, you're not gonna come down and fight like different random names. I mean, it's kind of like when Mayweather beat Pacquiao, and then he went to Andre Berto. No disrespect to Andre Berto, by the way. I love the guy, but it
Big
was kind of
setback.
like that was kind of like a pick 'em. Like he literally cherry picked that. You know what I'm saying?
I
And
hear you, but at the same point, he went up these weight
Man,
divisions, right?
listen.
For one fight. So it's not necessarily the same. Pacquiao's that's all still in the same weight division, and he had been there forever. This is
right,
I've gone up two weight divisions. I beat one dude. Let me fight another style. Let me prove that this wasn't just a guy that I can game plan for and knew really well. Let me prove that I am the man at this weight too. I'm the man at any weight. I think he needs that. I don't want to see him just jumping
but
around
Listen,
why?
aimlessly trying to
listen.
win. Because what if anybody could just game
Hold
plan
on.
for a
If
specific guy?
anybody could do it, they would have been
No,
doing
no,
it.
no,
Look
no.
at
Listen,
You're
listen.
not what I
I have a
mean.
big problem with this.
With
I'm gonna
what?
start nicknaming Benavidez the final boss, okay? Because why the hell don't none of y'all want to see nobody fight him? Y'all
all the
always think Benavidez is
Nobody. We
gonna beat
said
him.
some
Why don't you
names.
want to see nobody fight him?
Oh,
I
you talking
want to
about
see Charlo
Benavidez? You
fighting
don't want to see
Benavides.
nobody fight Benavidez?
I want to see Charlo fighting Benavides. I want to see Bivol fighting Benavides. I
Yeah,
want to see
bigger guys, exactly.
Berlanga fighting Benavides. Guys that been on that weight. I don't want to see Crawford sitting down at 168. There's nothing
He's
to
been
prove.
at one.
If
Benavidez been at
Lucas,
168 before. He
Yeah,
Lucas,
but he's
only
not there
left
now.
168 because Canelo won't fight him.
Okay, but now he's gone up to
175.
175.
Yeah, so he
So did
that keeps there.
Canelo. He can come back down.
I don't think he said that no more. We both did say that when Canelo said, "Oh, the 170 weight class was too big for me. I'm gonna go down to 168," and that's why Bivol beat me. Bivol said, "Well, I'll go down at 168. That's how you feel." And then all of a sudden his tune changed, kind of like when last year when Crawford kept pushing for the fight, Canelo actually priced himself out, talking about like, "Yo, if you're not talking about 150 millions, don't even entertain me. The shit." Well, he got called out on his own shit because guess what? The lion, baby, the lion. He said, "Oh, 150 mil? I got you. Let me sell this barrel of oil real quick." And I come back and he gave him the 150 mil. So now he got caught up in his own game. Like, oh shit. Man, they really come up with that 150. Now I gotta fight. And another thing that this is why Crawford is so great. Crawford told Turkey, yo, if I need to take a less if I need to take
He
less
did
money
say
so
that.
that you can come up with his 150 and we call him out on his
He
shit,
said that.
fuck it, do it. Because I'm here for legacy. I'm not here for money. So take some of my purse, make sure that he got his 150, and now what he's gonna say next. At that point, Canelo was pinned against the wall. He had no choice. He got caught up in his own game. They actually come up with the 150. And props to Crawford for taking less. That's not putting in work. That's called a chess master, being two
He
steps ahead.
had to take less
He
too,
knows
though.
that the money's coming from now on. So I'm gonna take a less of a check right now because I know that all the money that's gonna flow after is gonna be possible. Now, Lucas, to your point, you said you want him to stay at 168 to prove. I don't know what point you want him to prove. I think he already proved everything he needed to prove. But let me ask you something. If a guy is dating somebody that works, I don't know, in Subway, and then he dates somebody that works on TV. Next thing you know, he dates somebody that's she's Miss something, Miss I don't know, Miss Puerto Rico, Miss Venezuela, whatever. Why the hell would he go down to date somebody that works at Subway or you know what, like Jerry Santos and shit like that. So Crawford can't do that. He already he already beat the guy that beat the guy. The guy that's been champion for the last 10 years.
The
The
lineal
face of
champion.
boxing.
Okay, let me put it to you like this then. So from what I see, right, he handled Canelo a lot easier than what he even had handled Madrimov, right?
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying is styles make fights. He could make Canelo maybe easy, but another guy might give him a lot of fucking trouble. That's what I'm trying to see, Hobby.
Who will you say? Who will you
I
say?
don't know yet. I would have to look it up.
Well, he just said Bivol. He said that Bivol could
you know
come
what I
down.
would love to? You know what I would love to see?
Anybody.
I would love to see Crawford going down to 140, because that's where he started, and beat the brakes off Tank.
Here we go.
So my man's right here can understand that there's levels to this shit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I
said that originally on this show. Listen, man.
140. Damn, y'all trying to kill Bud.
Lucas,
what is going on?
Lucas, you made a point to say with the Madrimov stuff or whatever. Let's not forget, though, he has shoulder surgery. So he had a problem with the shoulder in that fight. And it was his first fight moving up. But I really think it was a shoulder issue more so than anything in that fight. And we could honestly say after this Canelo whooping that he pretty much earned a little slack on that performance. I don't think anybody at that's at 168 right now. I don't see anybody that's already there that can challenge Bud. I don't see anybody at 160 that can challenge Bud. And if you're talking about Bivol coming down to 168, you gotta put Benavidez in there. That's the final boss.
Listen, we don't.
None of y'all want to see anybody fight him. Why?
I do.
We don't know if Benavidez is willing to even come down. Bivol has stated multiple times, I will come down to 168. And Canelo he don't want that smoke. Let's go to some comments, though, because we got quite a bit. Santos, mess for work, Bud can do whatever he wants. I'm a Nello fan. Bud does not have to do anything. Nello whined about not fighting Benavidez, and now you lost to Bud. Nello should have taken David out first. No, because he knows that was a loss too, I think.
Right. Actually, the reason why he took Husa 175, the final boss, like my man says, Benavidez. The reason why Canelo didn't fight Benavidez is because he knew that was a guaranteed loss. At least with Crawford, I think this is why the shit backfired with Canelo, because he lost to the smaller man. Let's be honest with you. Also, unlike like a few people here in this chat, he also came in there like even Canelo told him, well, you fought nobodies. All right. So I guess when I beat you, you're gonna be another nobody. He did it. So I think Canelo didn't take the Benavidez fight because also it's also a thing of pride. Canelo knows he's a cash cow. I don't think he wanted Benavidez to get a big payday. You know what I'm saying? And with that type of leverage that he had, he pretty much, I don't know. It looks like a backfire because you lost to the smaller guy. You lost all your belts. Yeah, you got paid a big amount of money, and now everybody's pretty much suspicious about you frustrated with boxers. Just got confirmed. Yeah, you can get outboxed. Yeah, you're not all that, and you do get frustrated when you see Canelo lifting somebody with his shoulders up. You already know he's frustrated, and from there on, I already knew. Oh, that's it. And props to Crawford because he boxed beautifully the first few rounds, and then after round 5 or 6, he was like, "Yo, let me check his temperature real quick," and he stayed there and traded with him and outboxing him in the pocket without running.
He was really good in the pocket. I was like, damn.
He took a few
shots. He was good inside. Like that game was on point.
But that's more because he did not do that on the first 5 rounds when Canelo is the most dangerous. He did it.
He was just filling out different tools. He was just pulling out different tools and trying different things.
That's why he came out with that guitar. That's why he
Yeah.
came out with that guitar, because if you seen the movie Desperado, that guitar is
Yeah.
like the dude goes open that guitar, you have a bunch of different tools, and he decides what to use. That's exactly what he did. Even that walkout, it had a deeper meaning. Everything that Crawford does is calculated. Everything that he does is meticulously.
Right, but it was over my head. I hadn't even watched Desperado in so many years,
Man,
and
go watch it
I was
tonight.
so off on it, and I was just like, well, maybe if they'd have like actually had his name on the Tron before the band started playing, I would know that it was a part of his walkout and shit or something. I don't know, but it just seemed like all of a sudden Bud was just running out in the middle of this Latino music. I'm like, well, damn, he must have got tired of waiting for his song. Like, like
Yeah,
seriously, that's where I was at. But maybe then I'm just telling my age with that. But there was some people that were texting me too, like, what the fuck was that? And then some people were posting like, but ain't got no song. Like it
well,
went over a lot of people. I didn't feel as
yeah.
bad. I like after the fight was over and he explained it, I'm like,
Yeah,
oh
but some people
yeah,
got it though. Some people that have watched the
yeah,
movie before, they already knew what they were watching. I honestly
right.
didn't
Right.
get until later either, but I was just so happy that he didn't come out with a Mexican hat and a Mexican colors. Like all the black fighters already played out after Mayweather,
I
so
mean,
he
they
kept
were
it
still
classy.
kind of Latin colors though. Like they do those colors were kind of Latin. I didn't have a problem with that. It's just I didn't understand like the music part until it was until it was over and it had to be explained. That's when you're losing, when you got to start explaining what that was. But I had another question for you guys. Um
Real quick, Shakur.
Real quick, the
There was a question about
uh
who's at 175 other than Benavidez
That was
is what they
when
were
Club
asking.
City.
You
Oh, well,
go.
you
Did
got David Morrell, David Benavidez, Baval, Better BF. No, the other guy moved up, Ramirez. He's like at cruiserweight right now.
Cruiserweight now,
So
yeah.
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
And
that's
then you
that's the
have
four main players there right now.
yeah, those are the four main ones. Then you have other guys like Callum Smith, Anthony
Yes.
Yarde,
Uh-huh.
those
That's
type of fighters. Those are
recently
who at
moved up to that
175.
division.
Yeah.
But okay, so
Sorry, go
my
ahead.
question is, does this stop Canelo from still being the cash cow?
Nope.
Cause
Mm,
I have my doubts. I feel like Canelo gonna go out in his next fight and he gonna still have that strong following and that
Oh yeah.
strong, presence, pay-per-view numbers. All that's
Yep.
gonna still be there. And now
Yep.
I'm wondering who the hell can Bud fight to generate the kind of money that he just generated with Canelo?
I
Like,
mean, you gotta to get that, you gotta go and really challenge yourself again. That kind of fight like Bivol, and you have to market it as such. Like, man, Bivol whooped Canelo's ass. I whooped Canelo's ass. Now it's time for us to meet each other. You got to rise on that, something like that. I don't think there's a big enough name to do it just off like superstar versus superstar, unless he does something stupid like fucking Jake Paul. And I really hope he don't do that unless he
He's
just
not
whooped
gonna do
Jake
that.
Paul.
He's not gonna
Uh,
do that, and I don't.
but
I don't think he's gonna make that type of money or become that type of person, because that's not Bud persona. That's not who he is. So yeah, he's not the most fan friendly at times and the most charismatic dude, but he is the way he is, and he's never had to change to accomplish everything that he accomplished. I don't think
he
he's
had
in
to
there
be
for the
patient
money.
though. He had to be very patient
Right, he
because
did, and
I
also
mean,
I
he
feel
had
like,
some holding patterns where
but
where where the powers that be were kind of
the thing
holding all
about it
that
too,
talent back.
the thing
But
about it too is like you have to have like a special type of personality to draw that type of money. I don't think Crawford is. He never cared
mm,
for those type of things. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be honest with you. Uh, Puerto Ricans fight and make a lot of money because they have a whole country behind them. Mexican fighters also make a lot of money because they have a whole country behind them. Same thing with the UK fighters and stuff like that. American fighters, for the most part, when boxing was big back then, it used to be like that. But then after the Mayweather era, when he pretty much made the game of like get yourself hated so that everybody can pay you to see you lose, but you don't lose. Then everybody trying to copy that blueprint, but nobody could have done it like Mayweather did. You know what? You saw what happened with Broner and all these other guys that they had to get humble. So I feel
Well,
like
I have to actually say too. I think people underestimated how much Mayweather making those appearances with the WWE helped his career to be that Money Mayweather character. That persona that was making more money, and that was a lot more fan base, that now knew who he was and made him like helped him be that household name. And I just feel like other boxers are not really utilizing that as an option when it's right there. I mean,
I don't know if it was Dasakura. For me personally, I felt like Mon- Mayweather became money and started making the amount of money he started making after the La Hoya. When he beat the La Hoya, that's when he started seeing the big bucks. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
And
but he didn't change his name. Like he wasn't Money Mayweather until after he had that persona in the WWE, and he cross referenced some of those fans. Is what I'm saying. They cross marketed. So it's like maximizing the amount of fans you can have in combat sports. But I'm just simply saying that I don't. Canelo doesn't have like the personality necessarily that gets him all his Mexican fans. I think it's more about, having national pride and like you're saying, like with the Puerto Ricans. But I feel like African American boxers, they don't have that huge Black American fans to support them in the same way anymore.
Yeah,
Like,
it's American
it's
So
it's
period. Yeah,
tapered off in America
because
it
once
us
the
Americans,
heavyweights lost their standing.
right? You
So
know what it is?
yeah,
I
yeah.
think I think what you're saying, Sakura, is totally truth, and that's based on the fact that us Americans we got used to like, you know, cheer and give all type of accolades to the undefeated guy. But the minute that he loses, or the minute that he tests himself on the top echelon and he doesn't make it, then we throw him to the side. Where
But
countries
also
like
we were crazy about, like, in my culture, it was all about the freaking heavyweights, like
yeah, but
from
that era is
Mike
dead,
Tyson's era to Ali's era, like those were like the heavyweight years.
right?
So once the heavyweight champion kind of dissipated with the Klitschko's taking over,
Yeah,
then
I
they
mean
started grabbing all the
uh,
belts.
that
I
shit
And
died
mean,
that's
with
when that
to
decline
your
started
point,
happening here in America.
right, but that's also
to
because
your
there was no
point,
American fighters, a heavyweight making the noises like they were used to make back then. Also, I feel like boxing became a little more commercial,
Yeah,
and you see in other nations like the Chinese, the Mexicans, the Puerto Ricans, they don't throw their fighters to the side just because they lost.
right.
But
Yeah, they're
also,
do or die. Like they ride or
right,
die type
but
fans. The
also,
British
and this
fans too.
this goes for everybody, and this goes for everybody. Also, how a champion takes his loss is how the public is gonna react to it. If you out there making excuses or doing wilder shit after you lost, everybody's gonna get distasteful, turned off, and you're done. But if you take your loss like a champion, people are gonna give you a break. People are gonna give you a chance, and that's what is being shown. Like, and that's one thing that I'm gonna give Canelo pride as well, because he did take his his loss like a champion, and he did what he had to do. He made no excuses. He already knew that he was there with the bigger man. Now I think that Santos asked if Canelo's corner was good, why he didn't tell him to pivot.
yeah. I was
Um,
definitely going to go back to that. Yeah,
yeah, I think the fact that they didn't tell him to pivot is because, first of all, Canelo got heavy foot. He's not the most footwork oriented guy. So they know what they have. Every coach know what they have. The strength and the weakness with the fighters is limited. At some point, I believe that they realized like, okay, we're gonna get outboxed. So they were trying to go for like those little moments. There was those little moments where Canelo was trying to steal the rounds. And you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Because you got the crowd. You pretty much you're Canelo already had a few rounds won before the fight even started, as we can see. Since
Yeah.
two of the scorecards were almost had him winning.
What?
So at some point,
Oh.
I think at some point it just like it's like when you're taking away a computer and you're taking all the programs, all the hardware, all the software, everything. That's exactly what Crawford did to him. Every little thing that Canelo did, Crawford had an answer to it. and any other little thing that Canelo thought about doing it and was about to do it, Crawford was already like, don't even try that shit. Like I already unplugged that cord. So
Hey,
there's no power to that, you know what I'm saying? So that it makes his performance even better because literally it's a game of preparation, being ready, but it's also a game of being able to adapt and adjust and on the go, on the fly, not before the fight, not during training camp, but right there when the first bell sounds. And not many fighters can do that. Only elite fighters can do that. So that's what he did, and he
Well,
did
Well,
it
let
so
me
he did it so easily. That shit was watching. It's like watching Picasso painting right in front of you. You know what I'm saying?
let me just
Like
say this
watching
about
Michelangelo just draw a paint in front of you, and you just like eating popcorn, watching this greatness in front of you. That's what he did.
I just like
let
it
me
like
just say
when
this.
somebody miss or when they go for a punch and they don't get what they want and you make them pay for it. Like that's like boxing 101. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's like how the old traditional boxers like, you know, like it's not just about you missing. I made you miss, but now I'm gonna make you pay for even attempting to throw the punch. And Bud was making that look so masterful by, hey, he threw, Canelo took that chance, which I gave him credit for even still attempting to make land something big. But
Yeah.
he took that chance and he knew something was coming back. Like there was no
Well,
doubt
well,
about it in his mind that he learned that either that nice jab was gonna come up or a hook was gonna come back. So
well, as they were saying in the fight,
or
Bud is
combinations.
Bud is giving more than he's taking. He's taking it. He's taking it, but he's definitely giving him more than what he's
Way
taking
more
back.
than what the offense was on point.
Just about the corner work here for Santos is um in the corner they really were asking. They started to ask Canelo to throw more punches, let his hands go a little bit more, and throw more combinations. When he did, Bud was game. Bud was game, and not only that, he was beating him at that game. You did
Right.
make a comment earlier though that you said Canelo wasn't throwing the jab. He's not known as a great jabber. I felt like later on in the fight, when when he was getting beat up pretty bad, he did
Mhm.
start to go to the jab a little bit more, and that is a weapon, maybe something that Reynoso could work on him in the future to help him pivot
But
in these
that's
type
just
of fights.
crazy. Like this man has been in the sport. I mean, he's got this great record, and you're saying to me right now that Reynosa would need to teach Canelo to use a jab. Like, come on now, like, really? Like,
I
this is something
Sure,
this man should have been known how to use.
listen. I got a
sure,
little bit
you
of my own
always
little
you
conspiracy
always
theory
will.
going on. Obviously, we know what happened with his crew anyway, right? I mean, he's had a lot of eyes on him, right? Maybe he hadn't been able to eat his Mexican steak like he likes because
Mm.
Reynoso's camp keeps popping, if you know what I'm saying. I'm not saying that's the reason, and he was different, but I will say Canelo looked a little bit slower, a little bit off of his game. But Crawford took advantage of it. Look, I feel stupid. Look, I watched that whole fight like, damn, I feel stupid as shit. But I do want to come back to it because look, y'all know my thoughts on Canelo anyway. So to pick Canelo, it was already hard for me. On top of the fact that now, after I done picked Canelo, I got dumb
For the
motherfuckers
first
on the
time
internet.
ever,
Yeah, I got dumb motherfuckers on the internet commenting saying that Bud's running. Bud's running. No, Bud's treating him like a booty call. Get in. He got off. He got back out. Then he ran back in, whipped his ass some more, got back out. He treated him like a booty call all night, and he got that ass and he clapped them cheeks when he wanted to. Bottom
oh
line.
God. You know what? At
Bottom line.
least you sounded better than Max sounded saying lights out Tony's saying. Like that was so awkward. Like I don't need him ever in life to try to quote
James Tony.
this man again. Please don't do it. Like I was
Did you
like,
hear this? That got quiet after he said that
oh, it
too.
was like
Oh, it
crickets
was
because
weird.
everybody
Yeah.
was like,
Did he just
But
say that?
dude,
you,
you
how
sound
many times
terrible.
do you see Canelo following someone around the ring. That's what was going on, guys.
Well,
We
that's
made
Canelo's
Canelo
game
one
though,
dimensional.
That's
right?
how it was in the
That's what I'm
skull
saying,
fight
Luca.
too
That's
in
Canelo's
Saudi
game.
Arabia. He was
That's
And
following him around and he was not cutting off the ring, which
and if you
probably
notice,
led Bud to be like, "Oh, he don't even cut off the ring, so we good."
and if you
And I
notice,
don't
that's
know if
what
I
Revolt
said this
did.
already.
Revolt just
I
kept
don't,
him at range. You come in, I'm
I
gonna
don't
get
know
your
if I
ass.
said this
One
already or
dimensional.
not,
You got
Lucas.
nothing to offer.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know if I said this already, but that's what I told y'all would happen. I told y'all that would happen. That's exactly what I told you would happen in this fight.
A little bit, a little bit,
I don't
but that's all
remember
right.
that.
that's what you told us after you switched from your Canelo pick. But now, now let
It only counts on the show, Javi. Where were
So
you at?
I
but
mean,
the thing about
I
it
got
is,
a prediction from Coach Quaylar, and he put it in a very good way. He said, if Bud takes the weight well, then it's gonna be a long night for Canelo because he can move, he can stick and move, and he can get in and get out whenever he wants to. Now, he said, if he doesn't take the weight well, then it's gonna be a tougher fight, uphill thing for Bud. So, but he went with Bud because he said, basically it's gonna be like he should take the win with his skills and with his movement and things he can do, but it's all based on the caveat of him being able to take the weight increase well. And that's exactly what happened. I thought that was a brilliant way to put it because that's how it happened. That's exactly what happened. Like he was able to take the weight and he was able to move in and move out, fire at will whenever he got ready to. And pretty much he played with Bud the way that Canelo normally plays with some of his opponents, where
right?
he
But
lets
then,
them like do whatever they want to do for rounds and rounds and rounds, and then pounces on them in the later half of the fight. So that's what got done. That same strategy got done to Canelo. Bud was able to play around with him, do what he wanted to do, all those rounds, and then 11th and 12th, what did he do? Pounce on him. So he used his own strategy against him too. Like that
right,
was
being him on
marvelous.
his own game and shit. But I had a question based on what I was saying earlier, since Canelo didn't come out with that silly shit. Oh, rehydration clause, like like some favorite fighters out there that are supposedly the top guys have done. Now, anybody knows how much Canelo was waiting Saturday night?
Yeah, I
Because
didn't
I
I
would,
see neither
didn't.
one of them wait for that night.
I
right,
ain't
but
sure about
be
that one either.
surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Canelo was at 190 or around there fight night. And that's for me actually, I feel like that's even more badass. Like, bro, I'm coming up 2 weight classes, and guess what? I don't need a rehydration clothes. I ain't soft like that. Leave that for the soft motherfuckers asking for rehydration clothes. Not me, bro. I'm built different. Get on the way that you're gonna gain. I gotta beat you anyways. That's for me. That's
Right.
more
I
G. You know what
mean,
I'm saying?
That's a shot
if
at
he
Tank
did
too,
weigh
Rob.
that kind of weight, it you couldn't tell the difference. They both looked about the same size.
Oh, and
So
then
They
another
did.
thing
They did.
too.
this
They did.
it didn't matter.
Another thing too. I don't think Crawford's out there beating women and shit. So I give him props for that too. You know, people's
Hey,
champ, the people's
Ooh,
champ.
the
oh,
way Crawford won too. I
that was
mean,
a
like I
dig
said,
at your
very
boy,
gracious,
Tank.
very gracious. You don't get a lot of cockiness out of him.
Uh-huh.
I'm still a fan of Bud.
Is this thing real or not about him giving Canelo the belts back?
No, no,
He
no, no.
did. He did.
See
He
No,
what
did.
just Stephen
happens.
A. didn't
No,
realize.
you
Uh,
got your own belts. So the belts that they show up with, all of those are Canelo's. They got Canelo's name on them. Think about it like
So
WWE, right? It's already got his name on it and shit,
it's
and he's holding them.
personalized.
So
Yeah.
they give them to Terrence to take pictures with and everything, and then at the end of the day, usually behind
You
closed
give
doors,
that
he would
boxer
give them
their
back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and
all
then the
that is.
sanctioning body sends you your own
Later
belt that's
on, yeah,
personalized with your
yeah,
information on it.
a month
Yeah.
later or some
But
shit. Who
and
knows?
that's every fight that's every championship fight. If it changes hands, you get your own belt. And you
Yeah.
just give it back to them. Usually it's like behind doors. I mean, Bud was trying to explain it to Stephen A, but he still
Yeah.
wasn't getting it. Like he
No,
was,
it went over his head. Santos, you're exactly right.
he said,
That's
"I
Why?
bet
Why?
you
Why?
wouldn't give your belt back to anybody else." I was like,
Why
"Oh God."
Stephen A. Smith should not be talking boxing. Like
nah,
he should stick to like baseball, basketball, whatever he knows. But he should not be
honestly,
talking boxing. And
honestly, I don't
guys,
think he should talk much of anything. He don't really know anything. I've
oh,
heard
oh,
him
Then
talk.
Harvey,
well,
He
I don't know
That
other
knows
sports.
motherfucker
the
knows
NBA.
football.
He
I
knows
don't
the
Harvey,
know.
NBA.
then he
Damn, I
said
thought it
the
was only
Bud was
boxing.
Bud went even further. He was like, "No, man, I won his titles, but those are his belts." Like
Right, right.
he was
No,
Yeah.
trying. He was just like, "Fuck it."
That
I
just
agree
proves that
with
he shouldn't be talking boxing. Now,
Mhm.
I,
Lucas,
Yeah.
Lucas, remember what I told you? What Crawford's gonna do at 168? Actually, I went back to that thought, and I'm like, no, hold on. Maybe he could stay at 168 because at 168 he's close to fighting the goat. I mean, he's close to the goat, so maybe he can meet the goat somewhere there. I would love to see some fucking Crawford versus Jake Paul. Oh,
Oh, yeah, need
hey
that
man,
gold. I
listen,
mean, okay.
if he
Jake
meet the
Paul got
goat,
to get through Tank first.
Hey,
Okay.
with Canelo losing though, I think that makes Jake Paul Canelo that much closer to actually happening. I think that might actually happen.
I
Um,
hope Canelo entertains that shit and beat the brakes off that boy.
All right, Lucas. We should do one last
I thought you
final.
had a
Everybody
real
get one last final
168
take
pounder.
because we gotta wrap it up. We should just do one last final take for everybody.
Okay,
li-
we'll let you gloat.
listen, like I said, I picked Canelo, and then I had to defend my own against my own pick. I got nothing but good things to say about Crawford. I understand how I came off last week. I was very strong. Like Sakura was saying, I think I did not expect him to take the weight on so well. I did not expect it to be nothing but water weight. That's was my thinking in my process. I've seen too many guys come up, Mikey Garcia, Juan Manuel Marquez. When you jump weight classes like that, usually it does not work out in your favor. I was wrong
Yeah.
about Bud. That's all that comes down to. We have had him on the show before. He's a good dude, a good person overall, not to mention an amazing boxer. I have nothing but good things to say about Bud. I'm happy you won. Fuck Canelo anyway. Y'all know how I feel about that situation. So, Bud, I wish you the best, and I hope you continue to keep proving me wrong. Fight up. I would love to see a Bivol fight. I think that's about the only thing left after that. That would kind of solidify you in the top five for right now. I will put you number one pound for pound because I would think that this jump up and against a pound for pound fighter like that. So you are currently heavy bag boxing's number one pound for pound fighter, number one
All
overall
right.
ever all time.
Hey, let's clap for that. We'll take
Let,
pound
let,
for
let,
pound. Let's
let's
clap for that.
let's not say best of all time just yet, but I think the fight against Bivol would just put over your legacy. Other than that, nothing left for me. I mean, you just fight who you want, I guess.
It would be
I'm
hard for me to get over Sugar Ray Robinson. That's my number one pound for pound of all times. So it would be hard. I got Roberto Duran on my list too because of how many weight classes he was successful at. Marvelous Marvin Hagler, he was at one weight class, but I love the fact that he kept defending the titles against every contender that wanted that smoke. Like I love that too. So there's some people that I don't know if I can sneak Bud into that top five, but top 10, obviously, yes. However, he's not done with his career, so we don't know.
I'm
Right. My closing statement.
yes,
Well,
sir.
uh, I feel like Crawford just give us a master class. You know what I'm saying? We watch greatness, and a lot of us under, don't understand it yet. A lot of us do understand it. I feel like he definitely showed the difference between the circus that YouTubers boxing's been and what the so-called fighters have done, outpricing themselves and doing all this stuff. But
Mhm.
the same thing is he went against the guy that was the face of boxing. He beat him in a fashion way. So I feel like he completed boxing. He's the Mayweather of this era. I'm not gonna compare him with the greats of the past. Every era has a great. We just watch one on Saturday. Um,
Right.
and I feel like boxing is very much alive. Now I see that there's some shit going on with there's a new organization and the weight classes and the belts and I don't know. Hopefully everything goes good, but what happened Saturday is the reason why boxing will never be dead. Unlike all those idiots saying boxing is dead, this is not. If you think boxing is dead, you stick to watching whatever you're watching, UFC, WWE, whatever it is. Don't even bother watching greatness because obviously your eyes are not. If you think boxing is dead, then your eyes are not ready for greatness. So stick to whatever you're watching because boxing might be too much for you. You know what I'm saying? You cannot put a Ferrari engine on a Honda Civic. So that's understandable. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like boxing is very much alive. Boxing was and it is everything that Crawford did: hit and don't get hit, footwork, not running, fighting when you want to fight, boxing when you want to fight, trading when you want to trade, doing everything you want in that ring, owning that shit for those 12 rounds. And I'm so glad that we got to watch it. That it wasn't on a platform like Netflix that can reach out to a lot of people. Um, I'm gonna rewatch it with my son, and I'm gonna let him know. You know what I'm saying? You're about to watch greatness. His favorite fighter is Tank because Tank is flashy and the knockouts and stuff like that. But he also knows that Crawford is in a whole nother level. So
Mhm.
when I rewatch the fight, I feel like he's gonna maybe not understand it now, but as a lot of people that can appreciate because the whole fight, the 12 rounds was a bunch of highlights. If you dissect the fight, 30 seconds here, 30 seconds there, there's so much going on that it's like wow, every little 30 seconds is a highlight. Whether a defense masterclass or an offense masterclass, like this guy did everything perfectly by the teeth. I think the only thing that he did wrong was maybe he didn't get a knockdown or a knockout. But that's too much to ask from
He didn't
somebody that's
even
coming up
need
two weight
it.
classes.
Like if he'd have needed it, I believe he would have did it. But he really didn't even need it.
No, I
All
think I
right,
think he,
so
I think he tried for it, but then that was kind of out of his league. That was the only thing that I felt like okay, he's not gonna hurt Canelo the way that Canelo could hurt him. I was aware of that. That's why he did it smart. He boxed his head off, and then he traded when he wanted to trade, not when Canelo wanted
Man,
to
he had
move.
rocked Canelo in that one round like Rob said that was round 9. He had rocked Canelo. Like if he'd have stayed on that pressure like that, he might have could have got him. I bet you when Bud go back and see that round, he gonna be like, damn, I didn't recognize that he was hurt right there. Like
Maybe yeah.
he gonna see it.
Yeah, this shit is
all right,
hilarious.
no.
This comment right here. Next thing you know, y'all gonna want Crawford to fight Usyk.
See, there you
No,
go. That's
So
No,
Rob.
no, no,
Rob is
no.
for
no, we're
my
that.
not doing
last
that. We're not doing that.
Hold
Rob
on,
is
my
hold on.
for
last
it.
take.
Before I hand it off to Rob, he was saying he don't he call me a Crawford hater. Ball is too
Aw.
big for Crawford. He walks around at 210 or more. I said, well, Canelo already fought Bivol. He beat Canelo. So why can't you fight Bivol? He said, Canelo smaller than Bud. You're a casual, bro. And I was like, well.
What?
I said
Yeah,
Crawford's got him
look,
by a couple of inches, you know.
we ain't
Hey,
gotta
So
worry
then
about
yo.
he
the hate
then he
like
said the
that.
next thing you
I
want
don't
him to
know
fight
what's wrong with
Usyk.
these people. Love
That's
to
a big
insult
jump.
other
So
people.
That's
so
a big jump. But
my
I like
final
I'll let
take
you
on it
talk
is
shit to me.
is
I'll
this.
give you airtime. I don't give no shit. If he beats Bivol or Benavidez, look, I just put him top pound for pound current. Everybody was asking me before this if it would be an all-time great if he beat Canelo. No, one time don't do that. That's not enough for me. However, if he beats Bivol and Benavidez or both, if he beats both, then yeah, that makes a strong case for definitely one of the best of all time.
What
CJ,
if he
damn it, you
decided to
gonna
just
come on at the
retire
end
right
and say
now,
I told
guys?
you everything? Just
Ah,
look.
CJ,
Watch the rest of
CJ
this
CJ, my
show,
man,
boy,
CJ.
goodness.
You joined on too
my
late. Rob,
boy,
Rob,
CJ.
Rob, take it away
Go.
because we're about to end.
Go.
Yeah. So my last statement is this, and it's along the lines of what Santos was saying, but this is just final talk. So this ain't up for debate. But in my opinion, what I want to see with these two great fighters, both of them are great fighters. They show class with
Mm.
with with everything they did in this bout. What I want to see from these two great fighters coming up next is my personal humble opinion is Bud has a lot of options and a lot of choices at a lot of different weight classes. He can choose pretty much pick and choose what he wants to do, and he will be the favorite. So anywhere 160, 168, back down to 154, challenge some of them young guns over there. Any of these options that he has, I would like to see him do, and I would like to see it be somewhat of a challenge just to see him navigate these different weight classes and who he's gonna fight. As far as Canelo, it's only one thing I want to see, period. Benavidez. Stop ducking the man. Stop ducking him. That's the only fight for you. That's the only fight I need to see you fight before you check out of the sport. You need to fight Benavidez.
Why are you telling him to fight Benavidez if he just had
Yeah.
problems with Bud?
That's a mute point now. Yeah, I just think he's gonna get the shit beat out of him now. I don't want to see Canelo get beat down that hardcore.
Which I think is very funny because y'all so much harp on the resume, and Benavidez ain't got the resume of neither Bud or Canelo
You're
yet.
the one that like
You
Benavidez.
right.
You
Because
said
y'all won't
Benavidez for him
fight
to
him.
fight
Because y'all
Benavidez.
won't fight
We
him.
didn't say nothing about
You're right.
Benavidez. You
Look,
did.
look, you're right. I talk about resume, but listen, we're talking about size differences now at this point. Benavidez is
That's all
part of the
y'all
monster
ever
for a
care
reason.
about his size. He was at Canelo's weight. If he was still 168, we wouldn't be having this conversation, damn it.
We're
And
we're
that's
But
only
my
he's
saying
final
not.
take.
But he's not.
That's it.
But he's not. So now what? You know, what I have to say is, to me, if Bud wanted to, he could retire right now. He don't owe nobody shit. Okay? After what he just did, he can just ride off. But, however, I would like to see him defend one of these undisputed statuses
me too.
and just put a stamp on the shit before he leaves. Like, uh, that's for all y'all naysayers. And then he can ride off into the sunset. I don't know who the person could be. I don't know. Like, there's a lot of options at 168. And then he can still drop down to 160 if that's what he wants to do. But at this point, it would just be what he wants to do because the legacy is solidified when you beat what everybody is considered the face of boxing. Like, and you not just did it, you did it dominantly. So really, he don't have nothing to prove to anybody, and he can just go on and retire if he wants to. Nobody should be saying anything about him if he do decide to do that. Because it's a lot of hard work, it's a lot of time away from your kids, and he is a great father. He does like being around his family. So
And it's a
um
dangerous ass sport. You can
yeah,
die in
and
this
it's a
ring.
dangerous sport. And
You
you
can
done
die.
made a lot of money. You can make more, but you ain't to me, I'm like, who he gonna fight that he's gonna make the kind of money that he just made with Canelo?
Right.
And you really don't want to go back down in pay rates. Like a lot of guys don't want to, once they got a good pay-per-view fight, they don't want to fight for less than that in their next outing, especially if they won. So I don't know. I just feel like he really doesn't have to do anything else if you don't want to.
No, I agree. Everybody check us out at Heavy Bag Boxing. That's all of our social medias. I'm going to come back to this one. Uh, Golden State Highway. If Crawford fights Bilal Benavidez, they're going to come in the. Listen, what do you think Canelo's been doing for these past 4 or 5 years? Exactly this. The man blows up another 20 pounds. He turns into a light heavyweight or bigger, and then beats the shit out of these littler guys. That's what he's been doing. That's what this is. Crawford, if he can do it, I mean, if Canelo's been doing it, well, Crawford can do it too, right? I mean, if not, Bival's agreed to come back down to 168. Maybe he can do that. Benavidez, I'm not so sure can make that though.
Oh, Emilio said that he heard Virgil Ortiz said he'll go up to 168 and face him.
Oh man, I don't know. Yeah, another person jumping no three weight division. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe who knows? It's
Well, he's a
pretty
big
scary.
154 pounder. He's he's
Like
got
I
the height and
said,
the reach for it.
Bud got options. And that was supposed to be a
That's a
final
good
fight,
point.
not a debate.
Yeah, you're right about that. He got way a lot of options now. When he used to didn't have that many options. So kudos to him.
Well, it's been a great show. Thank you all for tuning in again. For Sakura and Rob, this was Tough Talk. Join us on our social media at Heavy Bag Boxing, and we'll see you again soon.